Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Olivia, and today I'm going to be talking about executing your ideas. Now, this episode is part of a segment called Multi-Talented Yet. Multi-talented yet. This is for people who are multi-talented yet they have nothing to show for their multi-talents. They are multi-talented, yet their work doesn't show the talent that they have, doesn't show how talented they are. Now, I am a multi-talented individual, and I have been stuck for the past few years. I have been stuck. I have just been at a place where, yes, I am multi-talented, but there's nothing to show for this gifts that God has given to me. And I was thinking, what is the issue? What is the problem? And I decided, or I found out rather, that one of the problems is this: no execution. I keep on having brilliant ideas, but I don't execute them. And that is why our first episode is going to be talking about ideas and how to execute these beautiful ideas that you keep getting. Okay, if you're a multi-talented person, one of the things you know is that you have ideas. Ideas come to you very quickly, very easily. But then how do you execute these ideas? You realize that, you know what? Those ideas, I'm not getting them through. I have so much ideas, but there's nothing to show for it. Which is why today I'm going to be talking about executing your ideas. So the thing about ideas is that everybody has them, honey. I'm sure you've heard this, because truly everybody has ideas. When the universe sent ideas forth into the world, when God, the ideas is not just for one person, honey. No, thousands of people get that same idea. You can have an idea that you're conceiving in your heart, you're conceiving in your mind, and then one day you're going on the internet, you're going through your Twitter, your Facebook, and then boom, somebody else is doing that thing that you said you wanted to do. Have you seen that before? I've seen it countless times. I want to do this, I want to do that. Boom, someone else is doing that thing that I said I wanted to do. How did that happen? Because ideas do not just come to one person alone. Because the universe knows that human beings, you get as we be. So if I give you just this idea, what if you don't execute it? And then the beautiful thing about ideas is that when they come, it is in the execution. It is the execution that makes them. So 3 million people can have, or let's say, okay, 5 people can have the idea of lending their shoes. Let's say that 5 people got the idea that, oh, I have so much shoes, I have so many shoes. How about I start giving out my shoes to my friends or people who don't have, and I make money out of it. So you can borrow my shoes. So let's say something like borrow my shoe, that sort of thing. Now, out of the 5 people who got that idea, only 2 people decided to execute it. Now, out of the 2 people who executed it, you see that those 2 executions are different. So somebody might even steal your idea, but the execution, that is what makes it fantastic. In the execution, which is why it is very important that you don't just have idea and you are conceiving it, you begin to execute it, and not just executing, but executing it beautifully, putting yourself into it. We're all gods, and we're all created in God's image, and one of the attributes of God is creativity. God creates, and that is how you see human beings. We're all creative in the sciences and the arts. We're all creative. We all have each. There is nobody on this planet Earth that God did not give something to, that God did not give a talent to, a skill to. So you put that your uniqueness, what makes it you, into that idea. And when you put that you into that idea, you see that, oh, this is different. This is different. This is what? This is different. You notice that everybody's like, oh, yes, but this is different. So what makes an idea yours is the way that you execute it. And the thing for multi-talented people is this. We have an idea, we want to execute it, but we want it to be perfect. We want it to be perfect. And because we want it to be perfect, we're stuck with that idea. The idea does not move. You're not moving. Nothing is happening to it because you want it to be. Why don't you just release the first edition? That's why every app has an update. There's constant updates, constant new things being added. So how about you execute your first edition? Execute your first edition and see how it goes. For a long time, I'm going to use myself as an example. I have an amazing voice. Thank you. And people tell me all the time, Olivia, you have such an amazing voice. What are you doing with your voice, Olivia? I say, oh my goodness, you have such a great voice. I work in customer service because of my voice. People hear my voice and instantly they're calm. You know, they want to listen. If they're angry, they're no longer angry. They want to listen to what I have to say. You know, and I was like, oh, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to start a podcast about books, the books I've read. I'm going to start a podcast about movies. I've not done any of that, though. I've not done any of that. And no, the thing that is stopping me is not because, oh, there are many people with, I'm 100% sure there are a lot of people with podcasts about books, about movies. That's not what's stopping me. What's stopping me is that I want it to be perfect. Oh, I want to buy a professional recorder. I want to buy a professional mic. I want to do this. I want to do that, but I've not done anything. I want to. Nothing has been done. And so today, while I was bathing in the bathroom, one of the ways that my ideas come is when I'm bathing, shower. It helps me, it opens my mind. So if you're a creative person, if you're a multi-talented person, think about how you get your new ideas. Is it when you're taking a walk? When you're bathing? If I tell you the ideas I've gotten when I'm bathing, when I'm in the bathroom, oh my goodness. Or when I'm washing, when I'm baking, when I'm doing house chores. It's like when I'm pouring myself into taking care of my home, into being creative, more idea comes. So you have to find out, how do you get more ideas? Is it when you're taking a stroll, when you're taking a jog, when you're boxing, when you're jumping, when you're listening to music, when you're sleeping? How do you get your new ideas? We're going to talk about that later. But now we're talking about the execution. And I'm telling you now that it doesn't have to be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can edit it. This current recording I'm making is on my phone, on my Android phone. And I'm telling you that I'm going to upload it. I'm going to upload it. And boom, I started what I said I was going to start. And you know the thing about execution? Execution propels you to do more. The more you execute, the more you want to execute. You've done your first one, you can do the 10th one. You've done the 10th, you're doing the 100. You've done the 100, you're doing the 1,000. That's how it goes. That's how it happens. So I'm not going to bother myself and be like, oh my God, it's not going to be perfect. Oh Lord. That is why it seems like people say, people who are not very talented fare better than those who are talented, because those who you say are not talented, they just do. They're not thinking too much about it. You see somebody's skit. Oh my God, you'll be like, this person is not funny. Stop making skits. You're not funny. The person have published their first video. You go there, you comment. You're not funny. They publish the second video. You're not funny. They publish the third video. Before you know what's happening, you are a fan now, honey. You are now an audience. You didn't know that? Yes, because they keep executing and they didn't let what people say stop them. And they keep trying to get better. Because if they are not trying to get better, they fizzle out. That's why you see those people you say, oh, they're not funny. Before you know what's happening, oh, wow, one day you're looking at their skit and you're like, okay, wow, this is nice. So the thing about multi-talented people is that we are so stuck in being perfect when we don't have to be perfect. All we have to do is do. That's all you need. You just need to do. You just need to make the first step. So today I have made the first step and I'm going to publish this as it is. And as I'm going along my journey, I'm going to be learning more about podcasting. I'm going to be learning how to edit. I'm going to be learning, but I'm not going to wait until I have learned everything before I start. No, that's the problem. We want to wait until we have all the knowledge. But you know the thing about experience? Experience teaches way better than knowledge. So now I have the raw material. If I want to edit and go on Google and say, how do you edit your podcast? I start experimenting with the raw material that I have. Prior to this time, I had no raw material. So what was that? All the knowledge, where was I going to apply it? And it's the same thing that's stopping you from applying for that job. Because you're like, oh my God, you look at all the responsibilities, all the job description. You're like, oh my God, I don't do this. I cannot do this. I don't have the skill. Honey, you're going to learn the skill along the way. Experience will teach you that skill. Experience is going to teach you that skill. As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. That's a good thing because you and I, we're in the same boat. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm starting a journey. You are about to start a journey. When you finish listening to this podcast, you go start your own journey. And if you need me to be your chair sister on that journey, let me know. Send me an email. olivia.sose@gmail.com. Send me an email. Say, Olivia, I want you to be my cheerleader. Girl, I'm going to cheer you. You're going to cheer me. We're going to cheer each other along our journey to greatness. Because we cannot be multi-talented yet stuck. We cannot be multi-talented yet have nothing to show for it. Okay? So, thank you all so much for listening to me. And if by next week you don't get another podcast, please come drag me. Come to my Twitter and drag me. Come to my Instagram and drag me. I'm Olivia Sissy everywhere. Drag me. Because next week I'm gonna publish another podcast next week about ideas. You see, I'm gonna do my research. I don't do research before sending out this podcast. There's nothing. I don't have a paper in front of me. Nothing. I'm just talking from my head. But next week I know that I'm gonna have like a paper on how to fill up my ideas and all that. That whole thing. I'm experimenting. I'm learning along the way. And that's what I want for you too. I want you to learn along the way too. The thing is, my accent changes all the time when I'm talking. Yes, it happens. You're going to get used to it. And eventually I could decide, if I want to still, move to this accent, move to that accent, or if I just want to, practice and stay at a place. Until then, this is what you get. And be happy. Ooh, okay. Thank you so much for listening to the end. If you listen to the end, say hooray. Comment. If you listen to the end, send me an email. Encourage me to keep doing this, okay? And if you're worried about, will people like it, will people not like it? There are millions of people, billions actually, billions of people in the world. And I swear that there is one person out there who likes what you do. I swear there is one person out there who likes what you do. One person out there. So don't ever say, will people like, will people not? Express yourself. Give your gifts to the world. Use your gifts and bless this world. There is somebody out there who you're going to be blessing with your gift. That's what I want you to do. Bless. Release. Begin to express. Begin to create. You're a god. You are goddesses. Create. That's what gods and goddesses do. They create. So please, start creating. Put out your creation. People who would love it will love it. People who will not love it will not love it. It is what it is. Okay? So thank you so much and have a lovely night rest. Mwah. Bye. Until next time, guys. Same station. Same channel, yeah. Just, subscribe so that you don't get to miss out on my next episode. We're going to be talking about ideas, how to get ideas. And, today we've talked about execution. We can talk more about execution, as it comes. I'll keep on dropping them. But next time, definitely we're going to be focusing on ideas, how you can get ideas, how you can spark your creativity, how you can get ideas for your stuff, how you can get ideas for the things you want to do. And remember to execute the idea that you already have, how it is executed. Yes, there's a million people doing it. Yeah, do yours. Do you know how many fintech companies there are processing payments? Just processing payments. And there'll still be more processing payments. Love. Still more. Who has said, oh, don't? They're still getting funded. Do you know how many authors there are? If somebody has said, oh, somebody has written a book before, so I'm not going to write a book. Where are we going to be today? Love, the industry needs the competition. So put it out. Put out your best work. Put out your worst work. Keep putting out everything. Put it out. Okay? Thank you. Good night. Love you all. Bye. Guys, good evening and welcome to another episode of my podcast. Actually, this is a continuation of the first podcast I released this year, the one about executing your ideas, executing those beautiful ideas that you have. So today I'm going to be talking about the things that are preventing you from executing your ideas. Those things that are preventing you from carrying out those beautiful ideas that you have, turning those beautiful ideas into a reality. Those things that you keep ignoring and you're like, oh, but those are the things that are preventing you from bringing your ideas into reality. The last time I talked about how everybody has ideas. Ideas are like opinions, We have a shit ton of them. Everybody has an opinion the same way everybody has an idea. Ideas come. They come and they go. But the difference between you and the next person who has an idea? What you do with that idea. Do you bring it to life or you just let it die? I've had a lot of fantastic ideas. For example, starting a podcast. And I took the first step. And the thing is this, the day you take the first step, it's a lot easier to take the 1000th step. If that's a word, but the 1000th step. Anyways, I'm here to help you take the first step. And from the first step, you're going to take the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And before you know what's happening, you're doing this. And the first thing that's preventing you from executing your idea is the fear of failure. You're scared of failing. Especially if you're someone who has ever started an idea before and it's, went to shit. Like you executed on your idea and that idea just went crazy. That idea did not work out the way you wanted it to. Like you wanted it to be grand, you wanted it to be big, you thought it was going to be life-changing, it was going to be impactful, it was going to bless lives, and then the idea just dwindled down the drain when you executed it. So now you're scared, like, oh my God, what if this happens to my second idea? What if that happens again? What if this project fails again? But that's the thing, you would never know. You would never know if you don't try. I started my first business. Okay, Olive Pleasures is actually not my first business. I think Olive Pleasures is my second business. But when I started my first business, it was good, and that prompted me, that ginger I had, that goodwill I got from my first business prompted me, it gave me a good boost, a great self-esteem. It gingered me. So when I wanted to start my second idea, which was Olive Pleasure, my second business, I was gingered. I have faith in myself. because my first business had prospered. So I started Olive Pleasures, and that didn't go as the way I planned it to go. But that's not going to stop me from doing other things with my life. It's not going to stop me from starting another business in the future. No. So stop being afraid, okay? Because really, you never know. And the thing is, you can take the mistakes from the places that you failed, those failed projects. You can take those mistakes and transfer them, turn them into resources, turn them into lessons, experiences, things not to do in your new venture. So stop being afraid and go out there and kill it. The second thing that makes us not, make that first step or execute is that we want it to be perfect. Oh my goodness. We don't make a move until we perceive that everything is perfect. You want to have your 100 customer in the first day. You want to have amazing reviews in the first day. You want everybody to know about your idea on social media on the first day. You want to blow on the first day. I mean, even celebrities, when they start like a new brand, look at Kim Kardashian, for example. Let's take a look at Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is a household name in the Kardashians, they're a household name in America. Look at what she's doing for Skims. Recently, she signed up Cardi B as a new, ambassador, but she did a collabo with Cardi B. Now, this is Kim. She's still trying to blow. She's still trying to blow her business up. So that's the thing. Do you see celebrities when they start a business or something, a new project, they keep marketing, they pay influencers, they collab with other people just to get it moving. So nothing is going to be perfect the first day. Rome was not built in a day, and the world was certainly not created in a day. I like, using God as a reference because I feel like we're all made in the image of God, and there's so much we can learn from our Creator because we were literally made in His image. God said, let there be lights the first day. The second day He said, let there be trees. Okay, let's create animals. Let's create seabirds. But He didn't do everything in one day. He didn't. It took a process. Right? It took a process. So, but He didn't say, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to create light first until I have everything ready. Until I've created man, I've created the animals, I've created the fish. That's when I'm now going to say, boom, appear in the world. No, things were appearing on their own. He was giving the word, and the next day passed, and He gave another word. And that's it, girl. One step at a time. One step at a time, and you can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect in a day. Give it 2 years. It's gonna get there. You're going to look at your growth and you're going to be like, yes, I did that. The third thing is there is no time to execute our ideas. I mean, oh my goodness, in today's world, a lot of things are competing for our time. There's social media, all kinds of social media, man, not just social media. There's TikTok, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, all these things fighting for our attention. Yeah, there's Netflix, there's the TV, there's the DSTV, there's just a lot fighting for your attention. So you're like, I'm going to start a new book tomorrow. And then you spend the whole night on TikTok. You haven't slept. You slept late. You're watching a movie. You're on Prime. You're on Netflix. There's a lot of things just fighting for your attention. So when you want to execute an idea, you might need to drop a lot of things that are taking your time and give more time to that project. More time to executing that idea. I said, I'm going to read a book every week. I love books, but let me tell you, I grew up, I became an adult, and I don't have time to read books no more. I'm working. I'm doing a new course. I'm doing this. Social media, party. Oh Lord. Everything is literally dragging my time. And I told myself this. The little time that I have that I'm dedicating to watching TikTok, I'm going to switch off my phone and read my book. Or put my phone on DND. I'll make sure I call my mom first though. Because my mom is going to be blasting my phone 247. If I don't call her, I have to call my mom in the morning, afternoon, night. Or morning and night at least. So you get it? You tell your loved one, so you don't just go off the radar. No, you tell your partner, whoever it is that you're accountable to, say, hey, how you doing? Be right back or whatever. It's reading time. It's that project time. Like now, it's podcast time, baby. And my phone is on DND. I'm recording. I take this seriously. It's like I'm in my own studio and shit. So, but it is podcast time. And when I'm done with this podcast, I edit. If I don't like it, I'm going to start over talking again. Girl. You think you like talking? Record a podcast, then you know if you like talking or not. Because I might be like, okay, is the sound perfect now? Oh no, there were a lot of sounds here. There was a noise here. There was this. Okay, I have to. And which is why sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to publish it like that. I'm just going to publish it like that until I have the tools to, edit all the noise and all those things. But if my neighbor decides that I'm doing my podcast, all my windows are closed, but that's when she wants to talk, that's her business. You're going to hear my neighbors talk. I'm sorry, until I have better equipment. So don't wait to be perfect. I'm not going to wait until I have a studio, until I have a soundproof room. No, I'm going to dish out content. I'm going to do that. It's the same way I've dedicated time to this. Now, this is every Fridays. I'm going to record my podcast and I'm going to publish. So what's that new project you want to start? Dedicate time for it and drop other things. Make it a priority. Do it week 1, week 2, week 3. And before you know what's happening, it's a habit. Internally, your body begins to adjust. When it's that time, you're like, oh, it's time for this. Instantly, you know it's time for that. And you hop on it. You don't wait for nobody to tell you. You just hop on it. So that's how we can program ourselves to be productive. Trust me on this. The human body, it listens. You can program it. You can tell yourself, I'm not going to eat until it's 12 noon. And your body listens. Your body readjusts. At the beginning, of course, it's going to be hard because your body is used to something else. But you teach it. You teach it. You teach it. And then it's the same thing with the human mind. When it's time to read a book, my phone is down. In fact, I drop my phone far away and I read. I have a pencil or a pen. If there are new words, I circle them. When I am done with the dedicated amount of hours that I've decided I want to spend on reading, I go back and I look up those words. But I'm not going to touch my phone because my phone is a major distraction. So you have to identify your distractions. Identify your distractions and begin to get them out of the way for that project to come to life. What's that thing that is taking the time of that project? Figure it out. You know your life. So figure out what is taking the time of that project and create time. Create time for it. Create time for it. So that's that. Now, another thing that stops us, preventing us from executing our ideas, is the little things. Not doing the little things. For example, I had an idea that I wanted to create a pie, a moi moi pie. That's what I'm going to call it, a moi moi pie. So basically, moi moi, beans pudding, but it's moi moi, yeah. And enclosed, with beef and chicken fillings. That's what I wanted to do. Now I did that. I said I wanted to cook yam and pepper soup. I did that. I want to clean my house at this time. I did that. I wanted to do laundry at this time. I did that. Whenever I feel the need, whenever I plan to do this, when I have an idea, it's ringing in my head, oh, you need to weed your compound. I do that. Those little things that you don't procrastinate on, those little things that you do, once you start doing the little things, what you're doing is you're telling yourself, I can do it. You're telling yourself, when I think a thing, I can bring it to life. The next idea in my head is scotch egg. And honey, let me tell you, I'm going to do that next week. Next week, Tuesday, when I go to the markets, I'm going to buy ingredients for my beloved scotch egg. Olivia's special scotch egg is what I'm going to make. If I don't do it next week, due to funds, we're waiting for salary. I'm going to do it the upper week when salary drops. But let me tell you something, it's going to get done. Because I have conceived ideas in my head and I have done them. So that propels me, that tells me that Olivia, you can do anything you say you want to do. Period. That tells me that when I put my mind to something, I'm going to do. That is boosting my morale. That is boosting my action. Now, I'm an action lady. When you see me, call me Olivia, the action lady. Because when I think a thing, I do it. When I think a thing, I do it. I plan towards it. I make it happen. I always make it happen. So make the little things in your life begin to happen. Make them happen. The more you make them happen, the more those bigger things, it would happen, because you are an action lady and you make things happen. You are an action man. You make things happen. That's who you are. You are the mover, the shaker, the doer. Okru. So, make things happen. The little things, okay? I'm going to take a stroll every evening for 3 times in a week. I'll do it. Once I'm done from work, I close my laptop. I take my evening stroll. And now my body is used to it. My body tells me, oh, you haven't taken your evening stroll. I'm going to read my Bible every night. I'm going to pray. Habits, the little things, those little things. So keep doing them. You want to clean your house? Don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate the little things. If you procrastinate the little things, you're going to procrastinate on the big things. If you do the little things, you're going to do the big things. So, my word for you today is be the action. Be that action man. Be that action woman. Go do it. Go what? Do it. And if you haven't subscribed to my Spotify, go do it now. Take the action. Don't say, oh, I'm going to take the action. Please, take the action. Go subscribe. And if you haven't shared this podcast, do it. Okay? So we're going to borrow the slogan from Nike. Do it. Just do it. Don't think too much. Just do the little things. Just do the big things. Take the first step, baby. The first step. That's the hardest. But once you take that step, there's no going back. Because I'm here to keep pushing you. If you need any help, you need advice, what do you need? An accountability partner? Let me know. I will whoop your ass if you don't get things done. I'll whoop your ass if you don't get things done. So send me an email. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm also available on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Let's talk about it. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to my podcast once again. I love you all. I see these little views. I see them and I'm like, ooh, 5 people listen today. 2 people listen tomorrow. One day, I would have 1 million listeners on my podcast. You heard that today. I say it and it will happen because I will keep on doing my part. I'll keep on showing up. One day, I'll have 1 million listeners, not just listeners, followers, my own tribe. Okay? until later, until next time. See you all later. Okay, thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. Have fun, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Until next time.